What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Andy Coach, your friendly neighborhood coach, George Calioris. My deadlift day, warming up, did some static stretching at home to kind of loosen up my hips a little bit. And then when I started, I kind of just jumped into some of that cable face pulls and these goblet squats, playing around with my stance a little bit, trying to make sure I twist the floor apart on every repetition, making sure that I can keep the glutes engaged the whole time. It gave me kind of a pump in my legs, and then afterwards, when I did my ropes and some explosive step ups, my quads were starting to burn, but that's all right because it's training and it should be hard. And then I went ahead and started into my deadlifts. Started out with a plate, of course. I did 2 sets of 5, both conventional and sumo, just trying to get the grooves down. The second set of 5 always feels a little bit better. This is 225 here, which you're going to see. I'm going to jump into some sumo a little bit, get the hips warmed up, the upper back warmed up, crank on some scapular retraction, and just try and get a little more fired up, a little more warm. Don't be afraid to warm up a different stance or a different grip. You're just trying to get in some training, trying to get in some different movement. We move up and down a lot. We don't do a whole lot of movement otherwise unless you're specifically training for it. So I like to warm up with both stances. When I don't, I can definitely tell a difference. Trying to sink my hips, push the floor apart. That's major deadlifting. Main thing that I want you guys to notice on this deadlift day is actually how long I try and get into my stance or get into that bottom position of the deadlift. You can see this first set, I'm trying to drive my knees forward a little bit more, and it doesn't really work out for me. Weight kind of pulled me a little bit forward and put more stress into my back than maybe it should. And I can still handle it. It's obviously not a super heavy weight for me, but I knew something was wrong. Sometimes it pulls me up onto like the balls of my feet instead of the heel of my foot. So I try to figure that out. I do a little bit better job on the second set after I realized what I was doing. You're going to see that I try and stretch my hamstring a little bit more to not just to stretch them, but to try and feel them. Because I have a hard time getting into my hamstring on the conventional deadlift sometimes as of late. And that's just a technique error. So I'm going to try and basically get my shins vertical and use the bar as leverage in order to sit back. Kind of like that. Use the bar as leverage, not quite squeeze your shin, coming pretty close. You should always just want to cut your foot in half with the bar down, and that's heel to toe. It's not from the shin to your toe. So cut your entire foot in half with the bar, and then use the bar as leverage to kind of pull your butt down, bring your chest up. And the way to do that is basically to tuck the elbows, just like you would on the bench, by turning the elbows in. It's going to bring your chest up and pull your arms in. You can see it in some of these videos right before I pull. So you can see my knees a little bit too far forward there. Too far forward, but I still go. For some reason, I didn't quite figure it out this time. I did 7 sets, so give me a break here. Still able to smash out the weight pretty good. I was actually pretty surprised at how well I was moving, even though I was playing around with width. And that is a deficit that I'm pulling off of. It's just an inch. I don't want to change the exercise too much. It just kind of forced me to get into a position and get tight. Maybe it was this one, because this is the longer video right here. So this might have been my last set. Wore a belt and straps for every set. I really wanted to focus on some of the technique errors that I have. I didn't want to have to just grind out the sets. Pulling your shorts up gets them out of the way. It also holds your poop in. When you poop yourself deadlifting, that's a common issue. It's kind of, they call it the deadlift diaper. And you can see just how long it takes me to just to get
And I'm
into
glad
a
that you say that,
very good
Armand, because
position.
it proves the point that I did exactly
I
what
kind of
nobody's
stretch
done
and bounce
before.
my knees forward when I pull on
So
the bar.
that's
Pull the
fun.
slack out of the bar.
Who are you inspired
Just
by?
kind
You
of
have
makes me
somebody
tighten up my back.
in the past or
Yeah,
somebody currently that
this is the video where I try and do a
keeps you
really good job
motivated, or
of
is
it. So you can
it
see
kind of all
my
coming
butt's
from
going down, my
your
chest
own
is
crazy
coming up, but
thoughts
my
inside
knees
your own
aren't
head?
going as forward.
Yeah, the voice,
So I'm
that
basically just
voice
trying to bring
inside of
my
myself,
thighs
and,
into
and
my stomach.
I lift because I'm scared, and
Yeah,
I lift
that
my
was good
life
speed
because
control
I
too.
think that little boy feels scared of
So I'm just trying to take my
people run
time.
away. So
I
when
know
I
it seems like I'm
train,
going too fast, but I'm actually trying to take my
how do you
time,
train? And how do you freaking
make
train?
sure
It's
that
kind of
everything
fun
is
because I
right,
do keep motivated.
and
It's like
mental checklist
it's something that I've
before I go
never
ahead and start
fought for because
that
it's so
movement.
inside
I don't
of
know
me.
why the ground is shaking,
This is
so I'm
how I
thinking
grew
it's me.
up.
That
But
work ethic come from mom or
just take your
dad or
time,
something
get
like that?
everything set right before
You
you
know,
start pulling or squatting or benching or overhead pressing, even the rows and lat pull downs, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is a strongman movement. It's basically just to mimic the Atlas stone.
Yeah, did a
Just
700-pound thing that
tried it out
probably
for
had
a
about
set. Kind of hurt my
50
wrist
or
actually.
58
I'm not too sure why.
and I remember
Maybe I'll play around with those in the future more. But anyway, it missed my camera didn't get my single leg deadlifts and my dumbbell rows for some reason, which I'm kind of pissed about because I really wanted to talk about them. But basically, opposite hand and foot. It's really hard to talk about unless you know what I'm talking about. So these windmills I'll just talk about instead. You can't one foot out to the side and your back foot is where you push off of. So my right foot in this case, my right hand is holding the bell. And then all you're basically trying to do is push your hips back, slide your hand down your leg. If you just slide your hand down your leg, your body's going to stay in the right position. It's like a guide. People always just want to drop their hand to the floor, and I always got kind of mad. I'm like, just use the inside of your leg as a guide to get into the right position for this exercise. It's not a difficult exercise. It looks challenging because it is, but it's not a difficult exercise to comprehend. And it's also it's a very good exercise for building up some trunk stability, building up some shoulder stability. It stretches the hamstrings and the adductors, and I always just liked them. I always thought it built a bulletproof back while hitting the obliques too. So, anyways, now that that rant is over, I was doing some shrugs with them. Nothing crazy. I think this is like 205 or something. I'm not a huge proponent of shrugs. I don't think everybody should do them. Um, just because it can tighten up the neck muscles that probably shouldn't be tight already. I think you should stick with your rows and pull-ups and lat pulls and whatever else in order to build the traps. There's a lot of different variations, and these are basically just a back extension, which really doesn't do much for the back. It actually hits more the hamstring, and the hamstring is always something that should be emphasized, whether in the squat or the deadlift or lunges or whatever. So I used to love doing back extensions. I would do 100 of them before I started my work, but I don't have one, so I got to do something like that. And these are just some stability ball knees and rollouts. You guys seen me do these probably 100 times now. I love them. They make me really sore, but it just feels good. It's a challenging movement for something that shouldn't be super challenging. Some rear delt stuff, nothing too exciting. I ended up doing some twisting of the palms upward towards the end of my sets, just to externally rotate. Some safety squat bar curls. Nothing, it's just variation basically. Makes it a little bit harder because the bar wants to roll down obviously from the handles, so you're using a lot of forearm to keep the bar from rotating in your hand, using a lot of grip strength for it. And that's kind of why I'm burning out so quick on it, because I don't have big forearms. And I ended up finishing up with some snatches. I did 95 pounds for 10 to 1, so 10 reps, take a little break. I would imagine someone else, like my buddy Fector, doing the 10 reps, who's kind of the one who fucking had me start doing this shit. Yeah, I'm calling you out, bro. But I just like them. I I like Olympic lifting. It's just hard for me to do stuff like a clean because of my wrist flexibility, my elbow, my shoulder. But snatches are pretty easy. You just kind of taking the bar and going over your head with it. I don't try and do a whole lot of weight. I just kind of use it for conditioning. It's explosive in this case because I'm not diving under the bar so quick, but it also builds a lot of ground speed for something like the deadlift or the jump. That was the second set, so set 9. This is 2 and 1 here. I really figured out my form again on these, and it felt pretty good after a little while. The first set of 10 was just awful. Probably should have warmed up a little bit better on them, maybe with some bar, just the bar. Maybe you can see I just threw the bar because that's explosive training. So make sure you like the video and share.